What is going on, guys? Fitcho here, and welcome back to the Fitcho Career. It's episode 18, and we are back here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, one of the best tracks in the world for today's sprint race, and we're hoping to back up our good performance in the feature race with another pole position and another victory. And the weather conditions look pretty similar, at least for this qualifying session. It is dry, of course, so we're in a good position to go ahead and try and score some more points. Here we go, qualifying in Belgium for today's sprint race as we head down towards the first corner. A bit early on the turn in there, to be honest. Caught us out a little bit. We had to turn out of the corner there for a second, but it hasn't hurt us too badly as we are now into the lead. We've got Sergei Sorokin in second as now we head up Eau Rouge. Keep the throttle absolutely pinned. Quite easy, to be honest, when you got a nicely set up car in some drying conditions. But now onto the Camel Straight. Maxing out in 8th gear with the DRS flap open. Now down to Lake Combs, hard on the brakes, down to 3rd gear, flick the car right, then flick it left again up to 4th, then careful through this very odd right-hander. You're sort of half on the throttle, or just balancing the throttle a little bit through there, and now down to this very tricky understeery corner. We get a nice run through there, and now down into the no-name corners. We take a little bit too much curb, to be honest, probably lost us a bit of time, even though we did cut the corner slightly. And now down to Pouon, down 2 gears, flick the car in, and absolutely pin the throttle. It's a brilliant corner Pouon when you get it right, and I didn't quite get it right that lap. And now down to this medium speed chicane where we've stuffed it up a little bit, lost a little bit of time, as now Charles Leclerc is leading this qualifying session, and he gets very wide. Now I can't quite see my braking point because of the ghost as we go through that tricky right hand. Now keep the throttle pinned through this right hander onto the back straight, down towards Blanchimont as we almost bounce off the rev limiter a bit in 6th there. That will cost us a little bit of speed as now we're sitting in 7th as we flick the car left through Blanchimont. Now up to 5th as Giovinazzi takes lead as we now go hard on the brakes down into the bus stop chicane. Flick the car right, flick the car hard left, then careful on the power open. The DRS flap coming up to the line to take pole here in Spa for a 2nd day in a row. Get in. So we've taken pole yet again here in Belgium, and we are joined on the front row by our championship rival Antonio Giovinazzi. So the front row is unchanged from the feature race to the sprint race. And in 3rd place is Oliver Rowland, and I think he actually started out of 3rd yesterday as well. And Raffaele Marcello joining him on the 2nd row. And then the 3rd row of the grid is Charles Leclerc and Sergei Sorokin, with Antonio Fuoco and Luca Giotto on the 4th row of the grid. So it looks like it's going to be an all-dry race here in Belgium for the sprint race. And the strategy actually looks a little bit different to what I expected. It's saying start on super softs, because of course we have to, because that's what we qualified on, and then swap to the medium tires. I thought it would have said swap to the soft tires, but I guess we'll see how we go in the race. I'm not too sure what tire I'll swap to. It depends how well those super softs last in the opening few laps of this race. Without further ado, let's get into it. Here we go, engage the clutch, get the revs up as the lights come on. We've got 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. The sprint race here in Belgium is underway. We've got a good start from pole position, and we're going to lead into the first corner completely unchallenged. That being said, though, we've got Antonio Giovinazzi right on our gearbox as we head up towards Eau Rouge. It looks like it's going to be a carbon copy of the start of yesterday's race. We go side by side into Eau Rouge. Is he going to make it stick? There's a little bit of contact. We're still side by side as we now head down the Camel Straight, and I think Oliver Rowland is making this 3 wide, and Raffaele Marcello has come out of nowhere. We're 4 wide as we head down towards Lake Combs. We're right on the inside. We're going to have to go very early on the brakes. There's a little bit of contact between me and Giovinazzi, and we've dropped all the way down to 4th place. Oh my god, what an opening sequence of corners as we went side by side all the way up Eau Rouge and then down the Camel Straight, with Rowland and Marcello being very opportunistic and making the most of us having a bad run onto the straight and taking 1st and 2nd from me and Giovinazzi. We've got now just under another 11 laps to try and retake those 3 positions. We want to stay right on the back of Giovinazzi. We really need to beat Giovinazzi. That is the priority in this race. Of course, he is our championship rival, but obviously we do also want to go for the win in this race. We head through this tricky medium speed chicane that I don't like too much, and now down towards this right-hander. A little bit of understeer costing us there, as we haven't had the best run. We could actually be attacked from Charles Leclerc behind us. We're going to chuck it up into Rich Revs to try and defend, but we're not close enough to attack Antonio Giovinazzi, unfortunately. We've got the run on Giovinazzi. We're going to look to the inside. We head up into the bus stop chicane. Careful on the brakes. A little double lock up right at the last second to make sure we didn't hit the back of Raffaele Marcello, but we make that move stick. Back into 3rd place and in front of Antonio Giovinazzi, as we have Raffaele Marcello just in front of us as we go through La Source. We want to stay right on the back of that Campos and try and get a good run through Eau Rouge so we can try something down the Camel Straight towards Lake Conzo. It looks like Roland is breaking away a little bit from the front, or maybe my eyes are deceiving me as we go up Eau Rouge. We didn't get the best run. I'll clip the grass a little bit. We do have the run on Marcello anyway. We've got the slipstream. We're to the inside as now we head down towards Lake Combs. Careful on the brakes. I don't want to go up the inside of Oliver Roland as well, as we're still going side by side with Marcello, and I get way too wide as we're still side by side. We're going to give him a bit of a squeeze there, and we make that move stick as we take 2nd place, but this has allowed Oliver Roland to skip away a little bit in the lead of this race. We need to really push hard this lap to try and catch up to him so he doesn't get away. Here comes Raffaele Marcello to our outsides. We head down towards Blanchimont. I think we're actually 3 wides. We head up towards Blanchimont as Giovinazzi's come out of nowhere and got past both of us. And now we're still going side by side with Raffaele Marcello. And I've lost 2 places there. And now I've been hit from behind. I think that was Charles Leclerc giving me a bit of a tap as we really got slow into that bus stop chicane. But 3 wide on the run up to Blanchimont, and very opportunistic there from Giovinazzi to take 2 positions, both me and Raffaele Marcello. But now we're going to stay right behind the pair of them, because this is the best overtaking opportunity on this track at the top of the hill. After Eau Rouge, we're going to chuck it up into Rich Revs, try and get the best run up Eau Rouge. We've got the run on Raffaele Marcello. We pull to the outside as he's right there on Giovinazzi. I'm slightly in the grass there as Gio's giving me a squeeze, and now I've got nowhere to go. Yes, I can pull up the inside as Marcello's back down. Now down into Lake Combs. There's contact as I understeer a little bit. Now he understeers into me a little bit. I get very wide, but we make that move stick. Nonetheless, back into 2nd place. Here comes Antonio Giovinazzi to our outside as we head down towards Blanchimont. Is getting massive frame rate drop into Blanchimont side by side, and we just leave him enough space and we hold on to 2nd place for now. But all this battling, as crazy and awesome as it is allowing Oliver Roland to get away as he pulls into the pit lane, and we have kept going. And I haven't heard anything from Jeff about actually pitting, and somehow have damaged our front wing slightly. Jeff has been very quiet this race. He hasn't told us to pit or anything yet, and I thought he would have told us to pit by now, but we'll see. We'll have to pit at the end of this lap, so we're going to have to push like absolute crazy on this lap to try and negate the effect of the undercut that everyone else is going to have. But I thought Jeff would have called me into the pits right now. I was too focused on all the battling, and he hasn't said anything to me, but oh well. I think we can probably pit 4 soft tyres from here and go to the end. It's the end of lap 4. We're going to be coming into the pit lane. It's a very tight pit entrance. We're going to be swapping onto the soft tyres. I believe that's what everyone else has swapped onto, and I'm pretty comfortable we'll get them to the end of this race. We just got to hope we haven't been completely screwed over by an undercut, because I swear Jeff did not say anything to me about pitting, which is a bit irritating. But Raffaele Marcello and Oliver Roland are out of this race. 2 of the cars we've been battling have crashed. It looks like the bus stop chicane. That's where the yellow flags are. I'm not too sure what has happened. And we're re-emerged in front of Antonio Giovinazzi. So it actually hasn't been that bad going for that extra lap. And of course, now we're going to have fresher tyres for the rest of this race. But Giovinazzi is right behind us. He's got the run on us. Of course, he had warm tyres up Eau Rouge. And here he goes up our inside, down into Lake Combs. It looks like he's got that move done there. Oh, he's gone very deep. Oh, there's contact as he's come right back across on me, and I've damaged my front wing there. I'm not too sure what Giovinazzi was doing. He went deep and then cut right across my line as I was trying to switch back on him there. And now I've got a lot of damage to my front wing. It's sort of yellowy orange, but it could be worse. We're now right on the back of Giovinazzi, but it's going to hurt me at corners like this very next one. Puon. We're right on the back of Antonio Giovinazzi, and now some people are pitted. This is a private battle for the lead here between the top two in the championship, and a very simple move past Antonio Giovinazzi, and we retake the lead of this sprint race with only 5 laps left to run. Here comes Antonio Giovinazzi to our outside as we head up towards Blanchimont side by side through here. While I've got front wing damage, it's never going to work. I try and leave him the space. He's gone right around there outside. Amazing overtake by Antonio Giovinazzi. We're going to dive right up his inside into the bus stop chicane, and we retake that position. But he went right around our outside at Blanchimont. Absolutely crazy move. But we were able to retake that position straight away with a dive bomb down into the bus stop chicane. But this is definitely not over. It is right behind us as we come up towards Eau Rouge. And then onto the Camel Straight where he'll have DRS. And he'll pull alongside us as now we head up Eau Rouge. And I will say the front wing damage hasn't actually affected me too much in corners like Eau Rouge and Blanchimont. It's some of the slower speed stuff where I've been noticing. And here comes Antonio Giovinazzi. He pulls past us with DRS. Going to duck back into his slipstream. There's not much we can really try here. We're sort of stuck behind him. And now we just need to make sure we stay with him through the rest of this lap. And it's going to be difficult with this front wing damage, but I'm pretty sure we can do it with a bit of rich revs and a bit of pushing. Like this corner here, I'm a lot faster than the AIs. I've caught right up to the back of Giovinazzi just like that. We've got the run on Antonio Giovinazzi. We're going to get DRS as we come onto the Camel Straight, and an easy overtake up the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi. We retake the lead of this race, and importantly, we're going to lead through the middle sector where there aren't many overtaking opportunities, and he won't have the ability to pull away from us like he did on the last lap. I was lucky to catch him by using rich revs and getting a bit of slipstream down towards Blanchimont, but now we just need to make sure we're always leading through this part of the lap. Otherwise, we could be in big trouble. Here comes Antonio Giovinazzi to my outside as we head down towards Blanchimont. We're going to do this yet again, side by side into Blanchimont. I have to have a little bit of a lift to leave him room as now we head down into the bus stop chicane. And it looks like he's going to get that move done. So we're looking for a bit of an alternate line, but nothing is going to work. Actually, if we get a good drive, we're not going to quite pull alongside. We had a little bit of wheel spin. But to be honest, we do want to actually just stick behind him right now, because then we can get him down the Camel Straight and into the into Lacombe, so we lead for the middle part of the lap, and that is imperative for us to win this race. We need to make sure we are always ahead in the middle sector as now we go up Eau Rouge. We're right on the back of Giovinazzi. We've got the run. We're going to pull to the outside of the Italian. He just leaves us the space, and we make that move stick back into the lead of this race. Here we go again, onto the long straight, down towards Blanchimont, and Antonio Giovinazzi is pulling to our outside as we head up towards Blanchimont. I'm still up the inside, use a lot of curbers, are still running side by side down towards the bus stop chicane. He's really squeezing me there on the outside, and like I did last lap, I'm going to let him have the position for now and just stick right on the back of him as we start the penultimate lap of this race, because like I said, I need to lead in that middle sector of the lap, or otherwise he pulls away from me because of my front wing damage and I just can't quite catch up, and I'll get into a very difficult position. I need to play some tactics here if I do want to win this sprint race here in Belgium. But now we head up Eau Rouge for the second last time in this race, and I've got the run on Giovinazzi. We pull to the outside, open the DRS, and it's a very simple move yet again back into the lead of the race. Here we go again, onto the long back straight down towards Blanchimont. Giovinazzi pulls to my outside as we head up towards Blanchimont. We're going side by side through Blanchimont yet again, and he goes right around the outside and makes that move stick. A brilliant move by Giovinazzi, but like I said, I need to just wait. I need to be patient. I need to get back past him down the Camel Straight and lead in that middle sector, because otherwise I'm not going to win this race as we start the final lap here in Belgium. Careful on the brakes down into La Source. Stay right on the back of Giovinazzi because we must get past him down the Camel Straight and lead in that middle sector or otherwise we can't win this race. As now we head up towards Eau Rouge, up Eau Rouge for the final time today, as we now pull alongside Antonio Giovinazzi a bit earlier than normal, open the DRS flap, and we are back in the lead of this race with less than a lap to go as we head down into Lake Combs. We just need to now keep it on the black stuff and make this car very, very wide until we get towards Blanchimont, and then when we do the same song and dance around Blanchimont and he goes to my outside, I'm then going to have to actually try to hold on to the position down into the bus stop chicane. Here we go, onto the long back straight for the final time, up into Rich Res. We stay on the inside. Giovinazzi goes to our outside as we head up towards Blanchimont. We're going to go through Blanchimont side by side on the final lap of this race. We squeeze him and we hold on to the position as we now head down into the bus stop chicane. And we've got the position now. We just need to keep this car in a straight line as we get out of the final corner up towards the line. And we're going to win the sprint race here in Belgium and do the double. Win the feature race and the sprint race. What a weekend. 2 poles and 2 race wins. The perfect weekend here in Belgium. What a weekend here in Belgium. We won the feature race and now we've won the sprint race. And what a race that was. Some great battling there with Antonio Giovinazzi and some very interesting tactics going on as well. Because after Giovinazzi went deep and cut back into me and I damaged my front wing, I knew that if he led in that middle sector, he was going to get away. So I had to make sure I had track position in that middle sector. And that meant I had to let him go a little bit through that final sector and not really challenge him into the bus stop. So I could then stay with him onto the camel straight and get back past him and lead through that middle sector. And the tactics worked a treat. We went through Blanchimont side by side about 5 laps or something in a row. Absolutely crazy racing there between the 2 championship rivals. And most importantly, I managed to come away with the win and extend my lead in the championship from Giovinazzi. But if we have a look at the order, of course, I won the sprint race from Antonio Giovinazzi with Alexander Albon joining us on the podium. Nicholas Latifi finished 4th with Norman Nato in 5th and Igor Rudzev in 6th. A great result for him considering he's driving for Arden. And in the team's championship, Arden haven't even broken double points yet, and that result, those 4 points, will mean Arden are now into double digits in the team's championship. Then Nick de Vries in 7th and Jordan King in 8th, and rounding out the points. In 9th place, just outside of the points, was Antonio Fuoco. In 10th was Sergei Sorokin. In 11th place was Emil Bernstorff, followed by Felix Sorellis and Sergio Sedekamara. Artem Markelov finished in 14th with Gustav Malya just behind him. Nobuharu Matsushita finished 16th, our teammate Sean Galisle in 17th. Louis Delatraz dropping all the way down to 18th, along with Luca Giotto and Charles Leclerc. So there must have been an incident between those 3 guys because they were all starting the race in the top 10. And then, of course, Oliver Rowland and Raffaele Marcello did not finish the race. I'm not too sure what happened between them, but I'm sure you will have seen a replay by now. So after doing the double here in Belgium, I extended my championship lead over Antonio Giovinazzi to 11 points, with myself sitting on 162 points and Giovinazzi on 151. In 3rd place is Oliver Rowland, 21 points off Giovinazzi with 130 points, and a further 15 points back is Louis Delatraz in 4th, and he has Norman Nato right behind him, only 1 point back on 114. In 6th place is Raffaele Marcello on 109, with Luca Giotto in 7th with 97 points. Charles Leclerc is 8th on 92 points, and there's a bit of a gap back to Jordan King, where there is a tight battle for 9th place, with Jordan King on 79 points. Only 3 points back is Alexander Albon on 76, and rounding out the top 10. And then you got Fuoco and Gustav Malya, only 1 point back, and both tied for 75 points apiece. In the team's championship, things are still very, very tight at the top of the table, with Racing Engineering only holding a slight advantage over Dams, 3 points to be exact, with Racing Engineering on 190 and Dams on 187. And Campos is not much further back, only 5 points off Dams with 182. MP Motorsport are sitting in 4th place with 170 points, with Prima Racing just behind them on 167. Trident are currently in 6th with 162 points, with Russian Time in 7th on 147. ART Grand Prix are down in 8th with 142 points, with Rapax in 9th on 133 points. And then Arden are now ahead of Carlin and have broken into double digits, believe it or not, now with 13 points, and Carlin round out the field with 8 points to their name. So that is all for today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Fitcho, and I'll see you all next time.